Hello friends, how are you all? Hope you all are doing well. The film begins on the night of Halloween. Halloween is a festival in which people wear different kinds of clothes and masks. We see a boy named Corey who was called to look after a child. The child's parents explain everything to him and go to a party. Corey sits with the child and watches a drowning film, and talks to him very nicely. But he was a naughty and ill-mannered child. That's why he talks to him in a very strange way. He also says that the killer Michael will come here and kill you. After some time, when Corey comes back from the kitchen, the child had disappeared somewhere. After looking for the child for a long time, he finally goes upstairs, where suddenly someone closes the door of the stairs. Actually, it was no one else, but the child who was joking with Corey. He tells the child to open the door, but he doesn't open it. Now Corey was angry, that's why he kicks and breaks the door. Now the child was standing right behind the door. Because of the door, he falls down the stairs. At the same time, the child's parents also came back. He sees all this with his own eyes. The child had a lot of blood, that's why he dies on the spot. Here the child's parents think that Corey deliberately pushed and killed his son. That's why they immediately call the police. Then, on the charges of murder, the police arrest him and take him away. Although he also tells everyone that he didn't kill the child. It was just an accident, but no one listens to him. After this, we are shown the story of 3 years later, where now we are told that a crazy killer whose name was Michael. He had escaped from jail 4 years ago. He had created havoc in a city and killed many people. Michael used to kill people for this reason. Because his mental balance was not good at all. And his face was not good either. That's why he always wore a mask. That's why he got tired of all the circumstances and killed everyone. And this is the killer about whom the child had also told Corey. The people who were killed by Michael had a woman whose name was Lori. Her daughter was also involved. Now after that day, no one has seen Michael. But after 4 years, Michael's terror in this city has spread even today. Now we see the same woman Lori, who has forgotten everything and started a new life. She has taken a house in this city where she lives with her granddaughter. Often she meets an officer. Because both like each other. The town where she lives, the people there don't like Lori. Often they talk to her. Because they believe that Lori is responsible for all the people who Michael has killed. Here we also see a scared woman. Because she had actually become Michael's prey 4 years ago. And she had inserted a tube light into this woman's throat. But somehow she survived. Here we see a big pipe, whose way goes to the main gutter. And Michael had been living there for the last 4 years. Corey was going on his bicycle from here. Because the police released him. The police found out that the child's death was just an accident. Corey's dad gives him an old bike as a gift. Because he was still riding a bicycle. Then when he was going home, when he was near a store, a boy meets his friends and starts bothering him. He tells him to go to the store for himself and get alcohol. But when Corey refused, he started to treat him badly. He even pushes him, beats him. Because of which he cuts his hand with a glass. In the meantime, Lori also comes here. She tells them all to leave Corey and go from here. But they also misbehave with Lori here. After that they go inside the store. This time Lori gets angry. She takes out her knife and gives it to Corey. Because of which he punctures the tire of people's car. Then she takes him to the hospital where his granddaughter was a nurse. His granddaughter had already started liking Corey. These two talk a lot. Then in the evening they go to that dress party, where Corey was also wearing a mask. And he was enjoying a lot. Keeping the problems of the family aside, he was very happy with Lori's granddaughter. But in this party, he meets the mother of the child who had died. She starts saying bad things about Corey in front of everyone. She even curses. And also that you are so bad. You are killing my child and dancing here. You are having fun. Corey feels very bad seeing his humiliation. That's why he starts leaving the party. Although Lori's granddaughter tries to stop him. He also leaves after talking to her. Then those 4 friends come to him on the way. And start misbehaving again. But this time Corey also takes out his anger. He tells the most rude of them that your father hates you. Right. You take out the anger of this on weak people like me. Because of this, he gets angry. And he throws Corey down the bridge. Seeing this, he was scared. And thinking that he might have died somewhere. He runs away from here. Then someone picks up the injured Corey. And takes him to the main gate through the pipe. This was not any other place but Michael's place. Then when he regains consciousness, he was looking for a way out of here. But then Michael comes here, wearing a mask, who grabs Corey's neck. Meanwhile, they look into each other's eyes. It felt like they could see each other inside. And then for some reason, Michael left Corey alive, and takes him out of here. and he falls down and goes out of the gutter. Where the old man, who had no one in this world. He grabs Corey, and is surprised and says to him, that no one has come back from the people who have been taken inside. Then how did he leave you? Anyway, he shows him the knife, and starts sending him inside again, and also says that get me his mask. Now I will be Michael. But Corey does not listen to him. He attacks him with the knife many times, and leaves from there, and now the old man dies. He runs straight to his house, and looks himself in the mirror. Now the old Corey is no more. The anger and hatred in his eyes for the people of this town has now woken up in Michael's eyes. When Lori looks out of the window, there was Corey, who was standing just like Michael used to stand. When he sees her, she gets scared. On whom he says that you don't worry. I'm just here to meet your granddaughter. Then he meets her and apologizes for that party night, when he left after listening to her. After which they both go for a walk outside. Now Lori understood that something has happened to Corey. They go to a hotel. Then the old man comes there and starts bothering Lori's granddaughter. You said you were going to call. When Corey starts shouting in anger, from which he quietly goes and sits in his place. But he was staring at Corey. Now after leaving Lori's granddaughter at home, he starts going to the big pipe. And he also knew that the policeman was following me. He comes to the place near the pipe and hides. Then when the policeman comes here, he finds the dead body of the old man here. Then Corey attacks him and goes into the pipe. The policeman had also come in behind. Then as soon as he comes in, Michael catches him. But the policeman kicks him and throws him down. Now Corey attacks the policeman. First he hits him, and then he tells Michael to get up. Now the question arises here. How did Michael become so weak? Actually, he gets as much strength as he kills people. But he has been in this gutter for the last 4 years. That's why he didn't kill anyone. And that's why he's so weak. So much that he was shivering like an old man. Well, now Michael takes out his knife, and repeatedly attacks the policeman's chest, and kills him in his own style, which gives him a little strength. Now Corey had also learned how Michael kills people. Then he goes straight to Lori's granddaughter, and spends the whole night with her. There we see that Michael has also come out of that place. Lori, who is in a bar, tells her partner that I have felt some changes in Corey. His eyes look like Michael's devil. Doctor comes to the nurse's house, because he was going to take her with him. But when she goes to take a bath, she hears the doctor scream. When she comes down to check, she sees Corey there, who was wearing a mask. He had also caught the doctor, and repeatedly attacked the doctor with a knife. He was doing this to take revenge on Lori's granddaughter, because this doctor has made progress in this nurse instead of him. He also attacks the nurse, but she closes the door and stops him outside. She immediately calls the police. Then Corey cuts his mask, and keeps looking at his face. Then Michael comes from behind, who grabs the neck of the nurse. He takes her and puts her next to the wall. Then he stabs her in the chest. First he pulls her up, and then he hangs her on the wall. Now when Corey goes to his house, his mother says bad things about him and throws him out of the house. After this Corey spends the night in that house, where that child died. When she wakes up in the morning, he sees Lori in front of him, who tells her to stay away from my granddaughter, because I know that you are not a good person anymore. But he clearly threatens her, that if she is not mine, then it will be very bad. After hearing this Lori gets very angry, and she leaves from here. After this Corey calls Lori's granddaughter, and lies that your grandmother threatened to kill me. That's why we will leave this town tonight. But before leaving, I want to settle accounts with all those people, who have made my life a living hell, who do wrong with me. And because it was Halloween today, that's why he first goes to Michael's place, where he fights with him, and snatches his mask, and comes out of there. After which Michael gets up in his own style, which was clearly visible, that the killer inside him is also awake. Lori's granddaughter starts packing her things to go with Corey, on which Lori tells him that he is not a good person anymore. His way of walking, sitting, walking, every style, he has become like Michael. But she doesn't listen to him. To take his revenge, Corey first goes to those 4 friends, who used to taunt him. He puts a mark on their car, and leaves from there. He was in the truck at the time. Then they all follow him, and reach his dad's junkyard. His dad was also here, who was playing a game. Corey first hits a boy's eye, with which his blood starts flowing, and immediately his death. After that, he crushes a girl in his truck, and kills the other with a powerful weapon, and takes her life. Then that last friend, who was the most rude, goes to Corey's dad, and asks him for help. His dad gives him a gun, and comes out with another gun. He is surprised to see his son Corey with Michael's clothes. He attacks Corey, But to save him, his dad comes in front of him. And because of the bullet, he dies. Now Corey catches that boy, and puts a welding machine in his mouth, and drives him away, and leaves him like that, with which he also dies. After that Corey sits in the truck, and goes to his house. He comes to the kitchen, and takes a knife from there, which he used to keep all the time, attacks him and kills him. After that he goes to the rude music player, where first, he kills his partner, and then to take out his anger. First he beats him a lot, and then cuts his tongue, and hits the music tape on the table, which now the songs go on. After teaching them all a lesson, Corey had to take revenge on only one person, and that was Lori. There Lori's granddaughter was waiting for him at Corey's place, but he does not come himself, nor did he know anything about it. Lori was very sad, because of her granddaughter's death, because she was against him. Then she gets an idea. She calls the police and tells them that someone in my house has taken his life, and he is wearing a mask. Then she takes out her gun, and tries to kill herself. Immediately after that, now Corey was near the house, so hearing the sound of the bullet, he immediately goes inside. Then we come to know that Lori was just pretending to bring him here. She shoots him twice, so that he does not die, but falls down. Meanwhile, his granddaughter had also returned home, and obviously Corey's secret was about to be revealed. But he was very clever. He puts the knife in his own neck, and when his granddaughter comes inside, he thinks that Lori killed Corey with a knife, because the knife was also in his hand. See, she cries a lot, and then she leaves. Now Lori was also sad, but then she hears someone's footsteps. It was no one else. It was Michael, who came to get his mask back. He first wears his mask, and then Corey, who is still alive, he finally kills him here, because he fought with him and brought his mask. And now it was Lori's turn. He goes straight and attacks him. In return, she also attacks him, and their fight goes on for a while. But then suddenly, Michael catches Lori, and he was just going to kill her. But then she takes off his mask. Now that Michael is saying his mask is right, so taking advantage of this, Lori puts his knife in his hand, because of which he gets stuck on the table. Then she picks up another knife, and puts it in Michael's other hand, and she also hangs it with the table, and she throws her fridge on him, because he was completely stuck there. Lori takes off his mask, so we can see his terrible and ugly face. She tells Michael that I thought you would be a little cute, but you are an ugly old crazy person. As soon as she says this, she cuts his throat, but in the meantime, Michael lets go of his hand, and holds Lori's throat, because of which she was going to die too. Meanwhile, his granddaughter comes back, and attacks Michael and breaks his hand, because of which his grandmother is free. Then she takes the sharp knife, and cuts all his nerves. And although he was the killer, he was powerful, but he was a human being, because of which he was killed. Then Lori's officer comes here, and the rest of the police also come. Lori's granddaughter says, Michael is dead, but not completely. Now there is something else to do. After which they tie Michael's dead body to their car, and with all the police cars, they take out Michael's dead body, so that all the people of town, his fear and terror also go away. Now after doing this, they bring him to the grave of Corey's dad. All the people of town, they came here after him, and there was a crowd here. Everyone takes Michael's dead body to the grinder machine. When her granddaughter runs the machine, Lori puts his dead body in the machine, because of which hundreds of pieces of his body. And now finally, Michael's game is over. After this, everything was normal. All the people of town had stopped being afraid. Lori's granddaughter also apologizes to him, and they both happily start living their lives. Lori was talking with her officer. Now we are shown that Michael's mask is still in Lori's house. And with this movie ends here.